Hello, angels. How are you doing? Oop. I always have a glitch right at the beginning of my recording. So I'm doing this on Photo Booth on iMac, and I highly recommend it if you want all of the highest quality videos for yourself. Okay. Happy new moon in Aries, second day of spring. The first day of spring it was yesterday, spring equinox, equal day, equal time, light and dark during the day. So we were at an equilibrium situation, which is really my favorite place to be sometimes. And then also the process of getting to the equilibrium is pretty fun too. Okay, first of all, I want to say that in the year 2023, on March 21st, 2023, which is the day that I'm recording this video, there is like a real, okay, sorry, I gotta change some, it's the ADD, it's too real. Remind me later to update my Citrix workspace, please. Okay, there's like a real, I'm not gonna call it a movement, but like I have noticed among my peers that there are more and more people who are choosing to abstain from drinking alcohol. And I think that is a wonderful choice to make. Like, truly, I support that. I try to be aware, like when I'm in social situations, not to expect that alcohol is going to be involved. And also to ask people what their relationship is like with alcohol before I plan events that might be centered around the consumption of alcohol. Also, like if I'm meeting new people, I like to say, would you like to get coffee or tea or wine or, just whatever the thing is, but just to make sure that when I'm thinking about making connections with people, that I'm thinking beyond social connections that like must have alcohol present in order to like facilitate the situation. That said, I am about to open this beer at 2:00 on a Tuesday afternoon, and I'm gonna drink it as I talk about what I want to talk about. Reason being, this makes me nervous, truly. And when I get nervous, it's not like an embodied feeling of nervousness. It's like everything goes to my head, and then I'm just stuck there, like in my head. And so alcohol, like this one nice beer here called a Blind Pirate, appropriate, Blood Orange IPA, yay springtime, is going to help me not feel so nervous and to like allow all of the stuff that's just in my head to kind of come back into my body. And that will feel good for me and I will enjoy it. So yeah, I just think that was just something I wanted to say about alcohol and drinking alcohol while recording a video like this. Okay, next thing that I wanted to say is that I am still speaking to a world that does not exist. However, I'm beginning to hope and to believe more in the possibility that it could exist. And that is a heartening feeling. It's something that I don't think, like as somebody who considers myself a dreamer, a daydreamer, or just a thinker, oftentimes I can create the most utopic of the utopias in my mind. And then when I start like trying to communicate these ideals or these like, I don't think I would call them visions. They're more ideals, possibilities, actually. That's what I would call them, more than an ideal, because they're rooted in what already is. They don't require like a progression to a better situation. So that's how I think. I think about possibilities, and my favorite thing to think about is like good possibilities. Thing is, you can't really think about good possibilities without having something to contrast it against. What this means is like sometimes my really good possible future worlds that I create in my head come from knowing what the reality of the situation will be if we do nothing different, if we just keep going down this path that we're on. What that means is that sometimes it gets pretty dark up in here because we come from a dark place and we're headed to a dark place, and we are just like this brief little flash of light moment as human beings living on this beautiful planet of Earth. So that's why. It's also why like privacy like of what you think of in your mind for people who spend a lot of time in their mind and who value their like cognitive abilities as something that is essential to who they are as a person, as a being in the world, is so important, because there are things that I think about in my mind, ideas that I entertain, possibilities that I entertain, that I cannot imagine a situation or a scenario in the real shared world where I would ever act on or actualize those things. It's just part of the exercise of thinking, part of the dialectic of imagining the good possibilities. You have to have a reason to imagine those things, and the reason is often the villain, the evil, the devil. We need the dichotomy there in order to be able to generate this like third way of which is our actual being in the world. Okay, so this is not exactly what I wanted to talk about, but actually maybe it is. I can get there, I think. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for the planet of Earth on a lot of levels. I'm concerned for Mother Nature. I'm concerned for the relationship that we have to the feminine, the mother, the embodied nature of womanhood. And I think I get to say this because, well, first of all, I'm a woman, so like, hello, I'm an expert. And then also because I live in the great state of Alabama, where I was born and raised, and with people and in places that I truly adore. At the same time, I am an educated woman. I have experience, like traveling and meeting people and seeing different places and encountering different ideas and to me, that's like, I mean, that is life. Like, that is the joy of life. That's the beauty of life. That's where I really thrive, is when somebody tells me something I've never heard before, and I get to change my mind, or I get to have a new idea based on what that person has shared with me. It's a joy. Like, it is truly where I find joy and fulfillment. So sometimes in Alabama, I feel like the projection of who we are and what we are about down here as like a state and a culture. Please, for the love, let's define Southern culture as an ethnic situation, because it absolutely is. It's a communitarian value system, and that is across racial boundaries. So there are differences. When you leave the South and encounter other people who might think, like, based on maybe my history, education, background, and what I look like when I'm standing in front of them and how I'm speaking to them, that Southern identity, Southern culture is not an important part of my life and my value system. That is a misunderstanding. Southern identity is essential to who I am, to the essence of my being, and specifically the communitarian values of Southern culture. And you might, not you, this world that doesn't exist yet, but like, I know that when I start talking like this, I'm walking on thin lines, given the history of my people and places. But I have given it a lot of thought, and I feel very secure in saying that I am a Southerner. Okay, but I'm concerned. Hello. Why am I concerned? Well, because Mother Nature, Mommy Earth, is upset. She is mad. Because we are not treating her right. We're not giving her the dignity and the respect that she deserves. So interesting, because trying to have this conversation with people in Alabama that I encounter. First of all, it's not a rejection. There is not like yes, there are people here that I would encounter that would say that climate change, an impending climate catastrophe, is not real. I don't really talk to those people all that much, but also like, okay, cool. Like, that's what I am not here to talk about like whether or not something is real that is based on ideas in our heads. What I am here to say is that the reality says that Mother Nature is angry. And we can see this like in the world that we are inhabiting. And there does come a point where we are being willfully ignorant to what is being shown to us as a reality. Now, we have strong motivations for doing this, namely the ability to maintain our dignity and self-respect in the face of disaster, truly. So, again, I'm trying to hold some tensions here that are difficult to hold. Uh-oh. Got a text message and my phone is on ring. Sorry. Okay. All of this said, what I know based on information that has been shared with me, not from news channels, and not from Twitter, and not based on my own biases in research or like my motivated reasoning. None of these things are where I've received this information from. What I know is that it is expected that hundreds of thousands of human beings are going to die as the result of climate catastrophe, as the result of our inability to take better care of our environment, truly. And we are living in the year 2023. The report from the ICC, I don't even know, sorry, like truly, I'm telling you, this is not where I'm getting my information from. Yesterday said until 2030, like there has to be major changes happening right this moment if we don't want hundreds of thousands, millions of people to die because of climate catastrophe. How would they die? Like, what do we think is going to happen? I've already been hit by an F5 tornado ripping through the heart of my city. Well, that could be more extreme weather conditions, yes. Hurricane Katrina, April 27th, 2011 in Tuscaloosa. Fungus, bacteria, sickness, all of this grows more quickly in hot, humid conditions like those that we currently experience in the southern United States and the global south more generally. These things. And we can't even get to this conversation. That, to me, is the scariest part. Because what I know is that as these things truly happen, and then also power grids, honey, you can't maintain it when the temperatures rise to a certain level and, you need to keep your air conditioner on for your grandparents who can't leave their house, or, your neighbor who is dependent, especially in rural areas, small towns, like places that have already been forgotten by the world that we are sharing together. These people are going to be the ones to suffer most, to get hit hardest, and they don't even know for real. Like they can't, even if, like the information ecosystem down here, it does not allow this kind, like a compassionate sharing of truthfulness and dialogue to take place between the people who are going to be most affected by these things and the people who could actually do something about it. Because you know who can't actually do something about it? The widow in the trailer park in rural Alabama. She is not contributing to climate change that much. Like she's not driving. Like it's not her fault. And the best thing that we could do if you are somebody who will be protected from these things and who does have the power and the resources to move somewhere else and to get to a place where all of your material needs are being met, then okay, you've got a responsibility to help your neighbors. And I understand how difficult, how overwhelming it feels to have to try to have these conversations with people. You know what's so much easier? What is so much easier is to look at us. I'm here. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna go down with this shit, baby. And to say, you know what? You deserve it. Stupid people. We told you. and you didn't even believe it, well, baby, you didn't try that hard. You know, like, and if you did, then there are so many more people like me who will believe you. I am not a unicorn. I'm just trying to speak, like, as a human, not to perform a political agenda, because I don't care. I tried to care. One time I tried to do politics for like a couple of years, and then I was like, holy cow, y'all have really messed this whole thing up. Like, I'm not interested. You can have it. I still feel that way, truly. Like, yeah, what I don't want to talk about politics, that's the point. Because it's a deadlock. Because when you get into politics and you get into the national news circuit and the international news exchange and all of this stuff, but we can't do anything about that. And it's just perpetuating this idea that we have in our heads about how the world is and how it's going to be that is not real. It's not indicative of the truth, of the authentic experiences that people are having in their day-to-day lives. It's just not. And I'm talking, I mean, I have a master's degree. I might get a PhD in this one day, like, I know. And I've thought about, like, how do we tell this to people? How do we communicate that? I'm at a loss. I mean, I have like a couple of ideas left, of possibilities that I think might actually work. But like, my idealism has gotten shook, truly. And it has required so much strength, so much motivation, such a higher purpose for me to continue on believing that it is possible, that maybe there's still something left in this United States of America that shares my communitarian Southern values of looking out for your neighbor. Southern hospitality, friendship, these things, I know the stereotypes, I know the stories, I know the myths, but I also know the truth. And we're getting the short end of the stick on a lot of it. I'm concerned. We provide the labor that powers this country. When I say we, I mean the Southern United States. And I would also extend this to like rural areas and overexploited regions of this country. Our connection to our environment matters so deeply, and it affects us. And you know, like, who I learned this from, it's like basically Southern white men. They love this land. They respect it, revere some of them, their land. But I wouldn't say that it always extends to the mothers in their home who take care of their children. Not so easily, you know, and they might not see the connection here, but like, I'm fine with that. Mother Earth, mother of the home, you know, mommy. These things are all connected for me. And I feel the depth of the suffering here. And my hope and my prayer and what I'm asking of the world is that we can please have a more compassionate conversation about this. One that doesn't include Fox and CNN. You led us astray, honeys. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Oh, wait, no, I was gonna say this is part of like Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto is entering into Aquarius. And this is what I wanted to say too. Let me add my little astrology bit here since I started on this Aries new moon. You know, Pluto is not a planet, according to some people. And there are reasons given for this. Pluto is my favorite planet. I have a whole game that I play with my child about Pluto. It's just a bouncy ball, but like we love it. And Pluto is not a planet. The reason that was given in our book called I Love Pluto is because Pluto is the farthest planet from the sun, planet number 9. And it was like this whole big thing of like, is Pluto a planet? Is Pluto not a planet? We're not sure, blah, blah, blah. Well, what finally got Pluto kicked out of planethood is that we discovered that Pluto was sharing its orbit with other bodies, like other large orbiting celestial bodies. And that got Pluto kicked out of planethood because you cannot share your orbit. You have to be the singular focus of your orbit around the sun if you're going to be qualified as a planet. Pluto had friends, and that was not allowed. And I have friends. And if that means that I don't get to be a planet, that I don't get to have whatever it is I'm supposed to want, like, because I can't say, oh, the reason that people who look like me and who I care about and who I'm friends with, the reason that they're suffering is because they're dumb. I'm not gonna say that. Not. So I will accept my non-planethood with Pluto, and there's only 8. Like, there's only 8, and there's 8 billion people. So 1 billion people get each planet. It's just such a metaphor for like our hyped up situation on individualism. Like, if you didn't do it completely by yourself and you're not the star of the show and this isn't all about you and you're not trying to step on top of everybody else to get to the very, very top and just be the most excellent, then you don't matter. You are not part of this situation. And so when I say communitarian values, that my Southern values are communitarian values, I mean, I don't care if I don't matter. If for my life to matter, I have to say that all of my friends don't. Because my life only matters because of my friends. I am only standing at this spot on the ladder because they helped me get here. And I will not abandon them. And I don't care what that says about me, because this wasn't ever really about me. I love y'all. Have a great day.